Hello everyone. Welcome back. Your boy Nick Smith, James Smith here, back on the YouTube channel stuff. I haven't done anything for absolutely ages. Apologies about that. A little recap of everything that's going on. So it has been a good off season. I got all the way up to £293, and so sorry you didn't get to see it. Got pretty damn strong at some certain things as well, which is pretty cool. Finished the off-season in March, had an 8-week pre-prep phase where basically just brought body weight down, got blood work done, adjusted supplements and all that kind of thing, make sure that everything's all good. And it was. So yes, today is day number 1 of prep. So 16 weeks out, or 15 weeks, 6 days to be pedantic, from show number 1, which is the Two Bros Wigan show at the end of August. And then a week after that's PCA Manchester. 2 weeks after that is the Gas Pro Qualifier in Sweden, which everyone always says is a brilliant show. Good friend Alex Freshwater won his pro card there a couple of years ago. Said it was a class show, and everyone who's done it has raved about it. So can do that. Then roughly 4 weeks later is the British Finals weekend, where on a Saturday is the Two Bros British Finals, on the Sunday is the PCA. So that is the overall plan. So, like I said, the heaviest I got in the off-season was £293. This morning was 275. So, since finishing peak off-season to now, that's an 8 kilogram drop, so it's roughly a kilogram a week. It's not quite worked out that, but that's the diet, isn't it? The whole point is, like, certain things will go faster and slower, and then you speed things up as you need to. But overall, like as a rate of fat loss, that's a really good position to put me in, because I'm starting prep pretty lean. Very responsive as well, so it should theoretically be not an easy prep, but it should be like predictable and smooth sailing. And with plenty of time, should things arise, you can get ahead. Because the reality is, probably looking at my physique, I could probably be in shape in like 10 weeks. But if we didn't have that extra time, what happens? You get ill, or you pick up an injury, or just body stops responding the way you think it's gonna. Spend a little bit of time figuring it out. Got all that time built in there, so there's no pressure, because I'm just going to be doing the same things we'll be doing anyway, which is training and eating, right? It'll just do us longer to go into a show with. And like I said, I feel fresh. I had a good few days off training. All joints feel banging. So yeah, it's time to go in today and knock the fuck out the gym. It is Monday. Monday's not normally chest day. Chest is normally Sunday, but I've just had a week off. A weekend off, even. Been down in London on the lash with the missus, getting it all out of our system. So now I feel ready to rock today. Sorry, this video setup, I'm just going to do this on my iPhone. Henry, my videographer, lovely guy, super busy. Rightly so, because he's good at his job. He works in the television industry like myself, so he's always working away. So I'm just going to do this raw dog style, OG YouTube style. I do have a Rode mic, so the audio is going to be a lot better than this. However, I've tried charging them up and they're just being a little bit knobheady, not really working, so I just need to figure that out. Maybe it's just because they haven't been used in ages. So the audio should be better than this, at least in the next video. But because it's day 1, I wanted to just do it so I can get in the swing of things. And then going to kind of give like a general overview of what the videos are going to typically look like. There's going to be a bit of me talking like this about how the week's going, what I'm noticing, blah, 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 blah. Maybe a bit of driving to the gym, because I like to have a rant on my way to the gym as I'm getting pretty fired up to train. I like to have a rant. And then some gym training highlights. Maybe a little bit of discussion about why I do certain things. Mostly speaking, not much changes between how I train in off season and how I train prep. So this is actually quite a good thing to first talk about. Because people ask me that quite a lot. They ask me how my training changes. Why the fuck would my training change? You know what I mean? Like, if I'm training to build muscle in the off season, when I get to a competition prep phase, why would that change? Why would the thing that gets me all that muscle, why would I stop doing that? What built it will keep it. So the heavy hard training that I do when I'm full of food, I continue to do when I'm not so full of food. Now, the only thing that changes there is right at the end towards a show. When you're doing the crazy, crazy stuff, it can build up inflammation, which is hard to drop off. And inflammation can blur detail in your physique, you know, where you can blur the detail, it can hold water. And when your whole thing is about how your physique looks on show day, probably not a good idea. So dial back the training a little bit. You know, that's when the reps and reserve stuff comes in. That's when we probably won't do any back off sets or any drop sets or anything like that. But until that sort of like 3 or 4 weeks out mark, it's business as usual. And then trying to maintain, like, the first few weeks I'm going to get stronger still in prep, because obviously, like, prep's begun, you know, with just some supplements and that, make sure that the creatine's in, and then push and push and push and push and push. And at some point, strength does plateau because your food's come down, your expenditure's high, body weight's been dropping and dropping. At some point, there is a shift in performance. But then when that performance shift happens, at that point, it's about trying to maintain strength as much as possible. Because like I said, what built that muscle will keep it. So trying to stay as strong for as long as possible will help keep muscle tissue. So it means you're probably going to have to get a bit violent, a bit angry, but, you know, go within yourself a bit and, you know, really try and piss yourself off to make sure you keep getting the job done. And then only right towards the end, you know, when you've got certain things like when injury risk is high, you'll start looking at maybe not doing so much free weight stuff, moving more towards machine. Generally speaking, I mainly do machine anyway. I don't really do a huge amount of free weight these days. But machine does have less of a risk because, you know, if you're doing a dumbbell press and, you know, that little bit of a shake going offline when you're already drying, there's not much fat and cushioning around your joints, there's a probability you could damage a rotator cuff and all that kind of thing. Whereas machine, you know, it swings on an arc and it's fixed in the way it moves. The injury risk is lower. And granted, if you're shifting a lot of weight, there's always going to be an injury risk, okay? Because it's just the nature of the game. Minimizing that towards the end of a contest prep, when at that point you're so close to achieving your goal of stepping on stage, that's a kind of a must really at that point. There's no point injuring yourself and ruining all that work it's taken to get to that point. So yeah, so there's that, and then there's also the pulling back on trying to kill yourself as much. First of all, it's the intensifiers get dropped out, your drop sets, your rest pauses, your clusters, all that kind of thing. And then towards the end, you know, reducing the volume a touch, just so your body can recover nice and, you know, and you get into that peak week and you're not fighting to get fatigue and inflammation off. You can get to that peak week and be like, okay, we can just drop down into this now nice and easy, drop cardio out, put the food in, and then just watch the physique get better and better closer to show day. So yeah, so that was a nice little point to start with. Yeah, how does training change from going from off season to a prep? It absolutely doesn't, apart from those little manipulations towards the end. So don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Don't change your training style. My first ever competition prep was 2018, and I trained hard and heavy, sort of top sets and drop sets and all that, up till I started prep. And then for some reason, I was watching a load of Regan Grimes videos and he was supersetting everything really high volume. So I decided to do that because I liked the way he looked, and I lost all my fucking muscle because, let's face it, that only works if you're a Regan Grimes because he's a genetic freak. And it's also when he was dropping down from being an open heavyweight bodybuilder to a classic boy. So like he was trying to lose the muscle. But obviously I didn't see that. And then I lost all my muscle. And then as soon as I switched it back to that kind of Dorian head one heavy set, I started to, within a week, look miles better. Because it was just like, oh yeah, this is what my physique actually should be doing. So I've tried both sides. I know both sides. I know what works for me by this point. 7 years deep now into competing and nearly 16 years training. So I think I know what works for my body at this point. Anyway, like I said, let's go crack on. Just to give a brief overview of food. Food at the moment on a training day is just under 4,000 and 4,400, should I say, and then training on food on the rest day I think is about 4,000. So it's come down from that sort of 6,000 mark, tapering it down. I've had 4 food drops in the last 8 weeks and it's kind of come off. At the moment, no cardio. I've got the Fitbit on today. So far I'm on, hold on, how do I get to my steps? 1,678 steps at half 11. So I don't have a step goal at the moment. I'm going to average how many steps I do this first week of prep. And then more than likely steps will be the kind of thing that we look at first. And then over time can start adding in cardio. I actually quite like doing cardio, so I'm not that upset when it gets put in there. When it starts to get put in there a lot, I don't think anyone likes it. But, you know, a half hour to start your day is actually quite a nice way to start your day, because I need to be in the gym and doing my posing anyway. So, you know, an extra half hour of cardio is cool by me. So, yeah, so that's pretty much an overview of where I started. If I haven't done it already, I will post up some photos of what I look like. I might have laid it over all this text as I'm talking. I might have forgotten to do that. But, you know, that's just how my brain works sometimes. Anyway, let's get to the gym. It's chest day, so it's 1, 2, 3 chest exercises, 1 shoulder exercise, 1 tricep press, and then 2 tricep isolation. Just give you a brief overview of the kind of thing that I'm doing. So yeah, it's going to be good fun. I do normally do this session at AW. However, I need to go to Elite Physique because I need to look in the gym diary to book in posing clients. So speaking of which, also, I do, as I said before, I do online coaching. If you guys want to sign up to the online coaching, please drop me a message on either here on YouTube or on Instagram, and I will get back to you. I am taking on clients, so if you'd like to take your physique to the next level, please drop me a message. Anyway, let's go to the gym, maybe with an angry car run, because I'm an angry person. Might just go straight there, we'll find out. But yeah, let's go get it. Back, baby.
Searching for what's left to across the